Hello, what up guys? How you doing? It is Lasty here. Welcome to Sunday, welcome to a new episode of the FIFA 20 Ultimate Team Road to Glory. This is episode 82, and obviously there's going to be a couple of changes today, knowing that we sold Kaká at the end of yesterday's episode, and there's going to be some flash SBCs and a couple more games of the weekend league in this episode as well. So if you do enjoy, hit me with a thumbs up. That would be awesome. Thank you so much for all of your support lately. And of course, if you could sub to the channel if you're new, click the notification bell so you never miss an upload and all of that good stuff. So the squad is currently looking like this with one player spot kind of empty, so we can obviously see that Kaká sells right here for 899, which is exactly what I bought him for, so a little bit of a tax loss on that one. Forget about it. It really doesn't matter. So we're up to basically 1.1 million again, and I'm actually going to be buying Pirlo, 90 Pirlo, who comes extremely highly recommended from basically everyone I've ever seen talk about him. He's not normally the type of player that I would think to buy, but everyone that uses him says he's legit. He's a serious player on this game. So I'm down to try him out. And what this does is it forces me back into the 4-1-2-1-2. If the 4-2-3-1 has been a little bit meh for me this week, then we will go down the route of the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow. People are saying that it's ping pong passy after the patch, so maybe that works in our favour. But yeah, we're bringing Pirlo into the squad, who's actually a 5-star skiller, and he's going to be playing in one of my centre mid spots. And then up front, we are going to have Mahrez at cam, Griezmann and Neymar as my strikers for now, anyway. So then it was flash SBC time. When 6 o'clock rolled around, no SBCs came out, and we were like, what? Well, a couple of like flashback ones did, but yeah, and then there's a moment, I can't remember the guy's name, the Spaniard guy who always destroys me. His regular card destroys me, so I'm not looking forward to coming up against him. Is it Morales? But yeah, like, they came out at 6, and we were like, oh man, where's the flash SBCs? And I simply forgot that they come out on the half an hour, so they come out at like past, and so at 6:30 every single hour up until like midnight, or maybe even all the way through the night, I don't know, they were coming out. Some of the packs were alright, some of the SBCs were a bit meh, some of them were quite good. I just wish they were all really, really good. That would be the perfect world, wouldn't it? So this is obviously how we're going to be playing the team. Guardiola as the DM, Paulinho on like stay back while attacking, and then Pirlo is balanced, so he's got a little bit more free roam capability in the midfield to show us what he's got, basically. Now, you won't ever really see that many highlights of this player because he is a centre mid, and they don't often score for me or anything. But what I can tell you is off the first like 3 games or so that I've used him, been pretty impressed, I'm not gonna lie. I think maybe the switch to the 4-1-2-1-2 might have helped me a little bit. I mean, we come up against Messi, Neymar and Mbappe in this game right here, and he's got Butragueno as well, and I was like, damn, this is game 5. Like, how am I matching? That's quite unfortunate to match someone with a very good team. But you never know when someone really good is just starting their champs games out. They can still match you, can't they? If they've played less games than you or whatever, you know, this guy could have been 4-0 and well, he would have been matching me, wouldn't he? So you know, it's fine. But we go 1-1 against this guy. So I basically got gifted a goal. Pirlo actually here, setting me up, and then Mahrez knocking it into Griezmann. Unfortunate finish there, and it gets blocked anyway. But yeah, like he's been great in the centre mid spot, you know. He's quick enough for a centre mid. Like, him and Paulinho seem to be roughly the same pace. Having 5-star skills is actually really quite useful. I think that might be one of the most important things. By the way, Dybala, the super sub, coming on at cam and saving the day for us in extra time. Getting that little dribbling going, and then the left-footed finesse shot in off the post. And that's actually going to win us that game against that really strong team. I was buzzing after that one, not going to lie. That was a tough game. So what are we up to now? Is that 4-1 or 5-1? Yeah, we're up to 4-1. Okay. So I think probably time for more flash SBCs and stuff in the background. But yeah, basically Pirlo in that midfield, I think 5-star skills is kind of super important this year. And that's why I'm enjoying Mahrez so far. It's one of the main reasons why I love Neymar. That run-in scoop turn, I just find it's super useful to actually pull away from people. And then obviously Pirlo being able to do that in the midfield, or a quick McGeady spin just to completely change direction when a defender like lunges out and steps out to make the tackle. Then I think, yeah, that could work for us. So the way I want to play it is obviously with the 4-1-2-1-2. Now, with the 4-1-2-1-2, if that feels too narrow or it just isn't working for me, I can resort back to my 4-4-2, which is something that was always working brilliantly for me in this game and probably is the best formation I've used this year. And I would do that, let's say, at half-time or in the second half if a game wasn't working out. So I would then make a substitute. And at that point, on the bench, I now have, obviously, David Villa or Dybala, and I could bring off probably Guardiola. And then in a 4-4-2, I would have Pirlo and Paulinho as my two centre mids. That's got to be great, right? That's probably better than Guardiola and Paulinho. Paulinho being the one that sits back and drops between the defenders a little bit more, still giving Pirlo that chance to roam and be creative and whatnot with the crazy dribbling and passing that he's got. And then I would obviously bring on like David Villa up front with Neymar, stick Mahrez and Griezmann out wide, and they could be my 4-4-2 midfielders, and that would obviously work fine because I'm used to doing stuff like that anyway. So I think this might just about be a little bit more set up for my style, a little bit more. I really wanted to like the 4-2-3-1, and it worked so well off the bat last week, but then something's just not been clicking. So again, the only way to change that is to obviously try and move around and try something different and see if it works or not. Pirlo also could go as a central cam. He wouldn't be the greatest there, but he seems very agile and dribbles very well. He's just obviously not the quickest and doesn't actually have the greatest of shots. That's not, I don't think, what he's really made for on this game. As a centre mid, yeah, perfect. I think he'll be great. So it was a tight vote in my head between buying Pirlo and actually buying Baby Seedorf. So that is another option. Should we get through the rest of this weekend league and we didn't like Pirlo, for example, or say I wanted to sell him because his price had gone up, or say I wanted to sell him because I wanted to try someone different next week, then Baby Seedorf is definitely an option. He looks very good this year. I've again heard pretty good things about him, but I thought I would go off the recommendations of a few people that I've seen on Twitter to try out this 90 Andrea Pirlo and you know, just see what he's like. So you're seeing all sorts of flash SBCs going off in the background. I basically did every single one of them, trying to just use players from my club, trying to use untradables where possible, but not always being able to, because we don't have the most resources in our club, you know. And some of the packs were okay, like this is a board or a walkout, and it's going to be a blue board, so it's not even going to be an 84, so it is a Spanish centre-back from Real Madrid, which is, of course, Nacho Fernandez. So, like, it's an okay pack. I don't think he particularly sells for anything, but the rewards for me were just about making the SBCs worth it. Like, yeah, if I'd submitted a few untradables, obviously I'm getting tradable rewards back, but there have been some that come out which haven't been that great at all, where like you need to submit a whole bunch of golds, including 3 rares for a gold players pack, which gives you 1 rare. I don't know, some of them have just been a bit pointless. Oh, by the way, I flipped a couple of Mullers. I bought them for like 10k, sold them for 15.5. Just when, during some of the lightning rounds, I thought maybe we could actually change or make a little bit of money. And there's going to be another change coming to the team right now, actually. I don't know if you guys will have seen this one coming or not. Probably not. But we go from this, and then I was on the web app in bed making a couple of changes, and we go from this to this. This. Come on, Tom. There we go. Oh, I could have done that so much better. Basically, we bought Heung-min Son, someone who I've wanted to use for a very, very, very long time. And the team is obviously all mixed around now in a 4-3-3-5. It basically gets everyone on full chem. That was the only formation where the centre mid didn't link back to the centre back, so I could get Son on full chem with just 3 soft links or 4 soft links, whatever it is. But yeah, take a look at that. So effectively, Son replaces Griezmann in the starting 11, who I think Son is an upgrade on Griezmann. Griezmann's been great. But what we do have now is super sub David Villa for striker, and super sub Griezmann for Cam, who I told you always is a late game, big game player. He comes alive later on. So to have him on like full stamina coming on at Cam, oof, I think that could work out a treat for us. So we've got 2 5-star weak foot strikers now. Son with the 4-star skills and very potent shooting and dribbling and pace and passing and all of that stuff. And then obviously Neymar, who is just the GOAT on this game for me. And then Mahrez with the 5-star skills at Cam. Pirlo with the 5-star skills in centre mid. Paulinho with the 4-star skills in centre mid. Like, I think this is one of the more balanced, well, like nicely looking, well set up squads that we've had so far. So I'm hoping to love Heung-min Son, you know, because I've been dying to try him for so long, and his price has always been so high. He's actually a little bit up this week because he is in form, obviously. It was the time to buy him because I wanted my new striker. And he gets a goal 15 minutes into his debut. And, you know, there's some players which you just get in-game and it doesn't matter. You haven't even looked at their in-game stats. You just know that they are going to be a solid player for your team. I think Heung-min Son is always one of those players. And he was well positioned there to obviously get me the goal 1-0 up. Neymar dribbling past the defenders like they're not there, doing an absolutely fantastic job of it. McGeady spin inside, knocks it into Mahrez, and that's going to cause a 2-0 rage quit right off the rip of that goal going in. So that front three, look at it, man. It seems like I think it's going to be firing. I hope so anyway. It can't be better. It can't be worse than the heavy game we had for game number 1 where things just weren't clicking. So yes, we have an untradeable Griezmann chilling on the bench and an untradeable David Villa chilling on the bench. If the games go longer than 18 minutes, unlike that last one, then obviously you'll see them coming on later in games should I need them. Or if not, maybe we just literally stick with the team how it is. But I sold a bunch of silvers instead of doing one of the flash SBCs. I basically listed a bunch of them up that I thought would sell. It seemed to be from players from leagues which weren't the same nation as that league. So like, for example, an Irishman in the Spanish league as opposed to a Spanish player in the Spanish league. They seem to sell for quite a lot. I went from like 40k up to like, I think in the end I listed a bunch more as well, and I'm up to like 100,000 coins, 96k or something. So we made lots of money from silver players. I hope I don't need a bunch of them in the future for SBCs because we've just cashed out on them. Anyway, PK blocks one off the line against my next opponent here, which is actually probably going to be the final match of the episode. And we just leave the play going. I don't cut it or anything because from this next attack, we're actually going to score. So it goes from me blocking one off the line, I could have been 1-0 down, to going forward and scoring. Now, look how fluid that movement was. Neymar knocking it into Mahrez, 1-2 between Mahrez and Son. He might be the key. Mahrez might be the key. Just with how agile he is and the 5-star skills. So far, so good with him, I must admit. But the one thing I would say about this game right now is that defending seems to be a bit of a myth. For both me and my opponents, every single game I go into at the moment, I don't know whether it's changed with the patch or if it's just going through my head differently now, but I've actually changed back to manual jockey because everything felt so slow when I was trying to defend normally. Lovely goal from Neymar, by the way. Little fake Rabona, and it just cuts the play open and leaves him with an open shot to put me 2-1 up. But yeah, everything seems so slow in defence and so lethargic, like I couldn't even move or I couldn't step towards the player, that I've gone with the manual jockey again, and I hope that isn't a bad idea. But things do seem to have sped up a little bit. But it does sort of feel like you can kind of walk through teams now, or one little change of direction is really helpful, or obviously really difficult to defend against. So I'm scoring what seems to be more goals, but I seem to also be absolutely leaking goals. I think the 4-1-2-1-2 doesn't seem amazing for possession. Like when my opponent's in possession, I struggle to get the ball back. But when I'm in possession, I think maybe it's fairly solid. It's just one of those ones where it's super narrow, isn't it? So if they've got wide midfielders, they can hold that ball really well against me, and my players are all just sort of chilling in the middle waiting for something to happen, which can be a frustrating way to play. But look, you know, like they're stepping towards defenders. They're trying to change player. The player switching is awful. And I can just tell that he obviously didn't want to switch to whatever defender that was right there. And I just walked through. Look here, like he tries to change to Rio, tries to change to a different defender. And the way that the player switching in that particular move worked is that he player switched and it went to Rio and he ran away, which basically means he wanted to switch to the left back because he wanted to run into me. And that's something that I'm also coming up against with the problem at the moment. Is the player switching just seems so broken. And I'm sure a lot of you are also feeling the same way. Anyway, bunch more silver stuff sold. There will be more. I think maybe even in like the next episode or something, those players will sell. But we're actually 6-1. So we've gone from 0-1 and won 6 in a row. So I'm obviously expecting to lose a couple in the near future. Obviously, I hope not. But I would imagine the bottle is coming soon. To lose the first game wasn't great for motivation, but to go on a little 6-game spree is also pretty good. And we've changed the team a little bit around there. We obviously don't have that many coins left right now, but we have Pirlo, who's been great for me. It doesn't show it because he's a centre mid, but Son, 2 goals and an assist in a couple of games is also, I would say, a great start, and I've just been really enjoying him. I think he has this just FIFA ability. You know how I was talking about in yesterday's episode? Like Kaká, I could tell instantly that he didn't just have that like icon feeling. Well, Son has got this feeling of just greatness on the game. So, yeah, I feel like we're probably going to get on quite well with him. Lots of people will vouch for him as well, being a great player on this game. So the lineup looks weird in the 4-3-3-5, but it's working. I almost wish now, because I think both Pep and Pirlo were both at cam when I moved the positions around. I wish I'd have put Pirlo up top and then Pep down in the CDM spot. Oh well, doesn't really matter. They all change within a couple of minutes of each other anyway. But that's going to end up the video for you guys today. Do me a massive favour. Hit that thumbs up button. I'd really appreciate it. If we could get 3,000 likes today on this Sunday, I'd be buzzing. So do that for me. That'd be brilliant. I hope you have a lovely Sunday as well. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram. The links are down below. And like I said, most importantly, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Take it easy, chill out, relax. Hopefully you haven't got any more weekend league games to play and you can just relax. And I'll catch you tomorrow with another episode. Peace.